Welcome to Fin Business. We're in conversation with Fullerton India. So thank you so much for talking to Fin Business.
Thank you.
There are many things I would like to learn from you because NBFCs are actually growing right now. There are many startups, Fintechs coming into the lending space. So before understanding how the market is actually right now, after using this Aadhar enabled KYC and whatever technology that you've already been embraced, how much is the difference between the turnaround time?
I think the efficiency is around almost 48 to 72 hours from what it used to be earlier. It has made life much simpler for us. And in terms of controls and compliance, it has become much stronger for us.
Okay.
Because you know who's the customer by doing a thumb impression or doing his e-KYC. Today, online, he is giving him a receipt and there's a message is going when he is making the payment for his loan. So the compliances and controls are much better. Efficiency of staff has gone up by almost 10% because earlier this used to be a lot of paperwork, to and fro used to happen. So those are big changes which has happened on at the ground, and it's a customer delight. Customer also happy that everything is happening much faster. He can track everything. There's a SMS which is going to him at every stage. So that's a big difference which is coming.
Number of fintechs in India is actually growing, and they are mostly tying up with banks. Payment also is a very important area, but it looks overcrowded.
Right.
If I ask you on the perspective of NBFC, what are the areas where fintechs can collaborate with NBFCs?
Fintech can definitely collaborate with us for all kind of financial need for their customers. And earlier, people used to hesitate in giving very small amount loans because the cost of operation is very high. Now with technology, you can actually fund somebody for 7,000, 10,000 rupees also. So that's where NBFCs come in. Secondly, the reach which the NBFC has. Like I told you, Fullerton India has a large distribution network covering the entire country. So the reach which the NBFCs have is something which is not there with some of the other banks who are there in the same space. Third, companies like us are also present in villages. Like I told you, we cover 51,000 villages. Normally, you will not find any of the banks. Most of them would be covered by companies like us.
Right.
So what's happening in urban India has already moved to smaller cities, smaller towns. That's going to move to villages also. Given the depth or given the large base of customer that we have, like today we have almost 15 lakh customers, we can always keep them on a pre-approved list also.
Okay.
So all these people who are in rural India, if they really reach that stage where they can go and do online shopping, he knows that he has an approved loan from Fullerton already, and he can just take whatever he wants to do.
So the banks always raise one doubt, though the collaboration or the partnership with fintechs is really good and it helps them to, to reduce the turnaround time,
right,
and the efficiency, increase the efficiency. How does it go for NBFCs? Are there some operational challenges? Are there some compliance issues? Because banks also face those challenges, and banks are the number one in terms of collaborating and partnering with fintechs.
Right.
So I would like to learn from you that whether are there any pain points while acquiring or partnering with fintech specifically for NBFCs? Are there any compliance related challenges?
See, I don't think there are compliance challenges today because we don't lend to anybody without KYC. So as long as the customer has an Aadhar card, we are good to lend to him.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, we have feet on street also. Like if the smaller loans, it's much easier to process based on the document which customer submits. Or for a salaried guy, it's much easier for us to process because we have the documents which are available and we can check. But we have verification engine also of feet on street for customers who are not getting through immediately. So we take care of that. Plus we have processes where we also do a telephone verification with the customer. So we really know who's the customer. And last is that when we are giving loan to the customer, it goes into a bank account. So today banks won't open a dummy bank account. It would be associated with the name, identity. So we know that we are not transferring money to somebody who's unknown.
Specifically, like these are the fintech and operation compliance issues that you clarified. But while adopting technology, how how tough it is for you to adopt any new technology because you have a set of employees familiar with some system.
Right.
How do you reskill them? Because reskilling is going to be a big challenge for the PSU banks and private banks as well. You're a new bank, you're a new company.
Absolutely.
So what are the pain points there, when specifically you deal with technology adopting into the company?
See, I think as a human, we have resistance to change. So that change resistance is always there. But what we have done is in-house we have developed a very strong training team. So whatever new things which are coming, which are getting rolled out, are moved to them. That's number one. We don't push a technology all India without testing it. So what we do, we go in a phase fashion. So we'll do a pilot. We'll start with a pilot, say in Mumbai, or when we are doing in rural, we might go and start in some small village in Akola or somewhere. We test it. Take the feedback from the team saying that, okay, these are 5 challenges I'm facing. And then once we are clear that, people are happy and they understand, then we roll it out. Apart from that, we also design videos around the whole thing as to whatever new thing that we are doing. There are videos for people to look at. So they know that, this is what he needs to do. Plus, there is an online portal where anybody, any of our employees across the country can log into the system and put questions and get answers from the training material which is available.
Now, there are many fintechs, like I said some time back, that there are fintechs which is operating in payments, but now there are many fintechs which is also operating in lending space. Specifically, they are giving short loans to big loans.
Right.
How tough it is for you? Is it a challenge for you now? Is it a competition for you to deal with these things because they are more, powerful in terms of online technology? I mean, the advantage for you is your physical and digital as well, but they are only digital. But digital, like we say, is growing. So is it a big competition for you?
I don't think we are really in that stage where we can say we are having serious competition. Because today if you look at the borrowing as a percentage of GDP, we are probably amongst the lowest in the world. So there's a whole lot of scope for improvement or opportunity for people to borrow. That's number one. 2, companies like Fullerton India has both digital and physical presence.
Right.
Which actually makes us much more stronger when it comes to challenging the new fintech companies. So we have got online portal the way any fintech company would have. So we're taking care of that. But somebody is physical, like, we do understand in big cities that we understand technology, but you move out of big cities or you move to self-employed people, they don't know what is it. Or they don't even think that they should go and apply online because somebody might hack their account or something like that. They're not very comfortable. They don't understand it. So for those people, we are always there as a physical business. So my sense is this would sustain, both of them would sustain. There's a huge market which is available for everybody. And competition will always be there if you ask me.
Where you are today and the way the technology is growing, what kind of growth do you see in the company and specifically in the NBFC industry going ahead? What will drive your company and what will drive the industry as well in next 2 to 3 years?
One thing that we are seeing is that the consumption expenses for customers are moving up. Customer is spending much more than saving what used to be earlier. So we are there to fulfill his aspirational needs, whatever he wants to do. So earlier you wouldn't have heard of people taking loans to go for a holiday. That is happening. Earlier you wouldn't have heard people, taking loans for, educating their kids or those kind of things. So all those things are happening. Plus, we are also seeing, like the livelihood example I gave you. In rural India, when we are offering loans of 25, 30, 40,000 rupees to people, the housewife which was not doing anything earlier is now getting a car, buffalo, and she's making a livelihood. And just to add to that, I'll just digress a bit. We also run a very strong CSR where we teach people how to stitch a cloth.
Okay.
Or a pant or a shirt or whatever. And we fund them for a sewing machine. So once they're trained on how to stitch and they have a sewing machine, so anytime during the day, whenever she's free, she can stitch 2 or 3 clothes. She'll typically make 100, 150 rupees on that. So look at how her entire life is changed now with somebody coming and giving her a loan. So those initiatives will continue to drive what we are doing. So that's how we are looking at. In terms of technology, like I told you, we have everything now online for customers. So any bigger changes, smarter changes which will come, we'll always be welcoming that. We are also encouraging people in the rural India to use their bank accounts. Like under Pradhan Mantri Bank Account Drive, a lot of people open a bank account, but at a later stage, they stop using it. So today we are encouraging people, saying that we will transfer money to your bank account. We want you to repay us from your bank account. So that habit of, using bank account also we are encouraging for our customers. And we are certain that as the time passes by, the rural India which has been away from banking or shying away from banking would also come up the curve. So those are some of the initiatives that we are driving, because not today, but maybe 2 years from now, all the rural customer will be able to do a digital transfer. And there could be better mechanism where people can, sell milk through a digital platform. All those facilities would reach rural India. So that's a big change that we are looking at, and that's why we are there and we are participating with people.
All right, thank you so much for talking to Fin Business. Those were like really great insights. Thank you so much for talking to Fin Business.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching.